Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you're getting through your holidays with your loved ones and are binge watching some fun things. I watched Amy Berg's incredible documentary on Jeff Buckley. I highly recommend it. It's called It's Never Over, Jeff Buckley. And I also watched Murder in Monaco, a true crime documentary about the murder of Edmund Safra in Monaco, which shows you what a Kremlin cozy Russian money laundering viper's den Monaco is. Highly recommend those two films. One is for your soul. One is for your true crime obsession, which is, I know why you listen to Gaslight Nation, because we cover the real true crime out there, which is rising corruption in America and autocracy worldwide. So just a quick reminder, we are having the Gaslight Nation Salon today at 4 p.m. Eastern with our community on Patreon that keeps our show going. We love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to share on this occasion of Trump and Putin having a 2-hour phone call, these two narcissistic, rabid conspiracy theorists on the phone with each other for 2 hours. They both are famous for many different things, being war criminals, being sociopaths, but they also, Trump and Putin, are world famous for having diarrhea of the mouth. So the two of them on the phone for 2 hours pretending to hash out some peace deal of Ukraine. I would love to see what they actually talked about, but we will of course never know. And then Zelensky having to put on a straight face as much as possible while in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. But he did, on behalf of all humanity out there, crack a big fat smile when Trump said that Putin wants Ukraine to succeed. We all know that isn't true. Just to remind you all, this war began 10 years ago as punishment for a popular uprising overthrowing the Ukrainian Trump, Viktor Yanukovych, and who's now been exiled in Russia ever since. And it was on the heels of the Euromaidan Revolution of Dignity, where the Ukrainian people showed the world how to stand up to a wannabe dictator. You have to drive him out of town. And that, of course, is a big threat to Russia next door. And so this war started 10 years ago because Russia needs Ukraine to fail in order to hold on to their Russian empire that they're desperate to bring back. All right, so we're going to talk about all sorts of things today. But one thing I wanted to share over this relaxing holiday weekend, I had one of the most intense dreams I've had in a long time, and it was about Ukrainian dissident poet Vasyl Stus. I'm not an expert in him by any means. He's an interesting backstory, which I want to talk about today in the salon. But it was fascinating, this sort of ideas that were coming up in this dream, almost like Vasyl Stus was barging into today, because Vasyl Stus was a dissident poet who was killed in a Russian labor camp in the 1980s. And he was somebody who laid the groundwork for a future-free Ukraine. And for him to come into my dream at this time, during this critical weekend for Ukraine, I just found very fascinating. I've done a lot of reflecting on it. And as somebody who studied authoritarianism for decades, when times are dark, people pay attention to their dreams. Because when you have to believe your eyes and ears as a form of survival because of all the rampant gaslighting, your dreams become a powerful force of intuition. My grandfather, in his dreams, in his memoir about growing up in Ukraine under Stalin, he would write about his dreams. So that's sort of where my sensitivity to my own dreams began. And so this dream with Vasyl Stus had two very clear statements. Number one, it's never over, even when you think it's over. And number two, you're never alone. And that was sort of the larger message I was feeling in this dream, of the sense of our whole mission in this war of attrition between democracy and fascism worldwide. It's to endure. It's to endure. It's to endure. And just to hold on to our human dignity, to stay human. That is the poetry of Vasyl Stus. Those are his words. So I wanted just to share that with you and leave that for the historical record. So as we enter this year of 2026, pay more attention to your dreams, to your intuition, because we're going to need it to get through and endure what's ahead. To our Patreon community, I will see you today at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Gaslight Nation Salon. I look forward to hearing what's on your mind, and this conversation will continue. Take care.